Chapter 5. How Arthur was a chosen king, and of wonders and marvels of a sword taken out of a stone by the said Arthur. Then stood the realm in great jeopardy long while, for every lord that was mighty of men made him strong, and many weened to have been king. Then Merlin went to the Archbishop of Canterbury, and counselled him for to send for all the lords of the realm, and all the gentlemen of the arms, that they should to London come by Christmas upon a pain of cursing, and for this cause that Jesus that was born on that night, that he would of his great mercy show some miracle, as he was come to be king of mankind, for to show some miracle who would be rightwise king of this realm. So the Archbishop, by the advice of Merlin, sent for all the lords and the gentlemen of arms, that they should come by Christmas even unto London. And many of them made them clean of their life, that their prayer might be the more acceptable unto God. So in the greatest church of London, whether it were Paul's or not, the French book maketh no mention, all the estates were long or day in the church for to pray. And when matins and the first mass was done, there was seen in the churchyard against the high altar a great stone, foursquare, like unto a marble stone, and in midst thereof was like an anvil of steel, a foot on high, and therein stuck a fair sword naked by the point. And letters there were written in gold about the sword, that said thus, Whoso falleth out the sword of the stone and anvil is rightwise king, born of all England. Then the people marveled and told it to the Archbishop. I command, said the Archbishop, that ye keep within your church and pray unto God still, that no man touch the sword, till the high mass be all done. So when all masses were done, all the lords went to behold the stone and the sword. And when they saw the scripture, some essayed, such as would have been king, but none might stir the sword, nor move it. He is not here, said the Archbishop, that shall achieve the sword, but doubt not God will make him known. But this my counsel, said the Archbishop, that we let purvey 10 knights, men of good fame, and they came to keep the sword. So it was ordained, and then there was made a cry, that every man should essay that would for to win the sword, and upon New Year's Day the barons that make a joust and a tournament, that all knights that would a joust or tourney there might play, and all this was ordained for to keep the lords together and in commons. For the Archbishop trusted that God would make him known that should win the sword. So upon New Year's Day, when the service was done, the barons rode unto the field, some to joust and some to tourney. And so it happened that Sir Ector, that had great livelihood about London, rode unto the joust, and with him rode Sir Kay, his son, and young Arthur was his nourished brother. Then Sir Kay was made knight at All-Hallow-Mass, afore, so as they rode to the joust forward. Sir Kay lost the sword, for he had left it at his father's lodging, and so he prayed young Arthur for to ride for his sword. I will well, said Arthur, and rode fast after the sword. When he came home, the lady and all were out to see the jousting. Then was Arthur wroth, and said to himself, I will ride to the churchyard, and take the sword with me that sticketh in the stone, for my brother Sir Kay shall not be without a sword this day. So when he came to the churchyard, Sir Arthur alighted and tied his horse to the stile, and so he went to the tent, and found no knights there, for they were at the jousting, and so he handled the sword by the handles, and lightly and fiercely pulled it out of the stone, and took his horse and rode his way until he came to his brother Sir Kay, and delivered him the sword. And as soon as Sir Kay saw the sword, he wist well it was the sword of the stone, and so he wrote to his father Sir Ector, and said, Sir, lo, here is the sword of the stone, wherefore I must be king of this land. When Sir Ector beheld the sword, he returned again and came to the church, and there they alighted all three, and went into that sword. Sir, said Sir Kay, by my brother Arthur, for he brought it to me, how gat ye this sword, sir? Said Sir Ector to Arthur, Sir, I will tell you, when I came home from my brother's sword, I found nobody at home to deliver me, and so I came hither eagerly, and pulled it out of the stone without any of my pain. Found ye any knights about this sword? Said Sir Ector. Nay, said Arthur. Wherefore I said Arthur, and for what cause? Sir, said Ector, for God will have it so, for there should never man have drawn out this sword, but he that shall be rightwise king of this land. Now let me see whether ye can put the sword as it was, and pull it out again. That is no mastery, said Arthur. And so he put it in the stone, wherewithal Sir Ector essayed to pull out the sword, and failed. Chapter 6. How King Arthur pulled out the sword at divers times. How essaying, said Sir Ector unto Sir Kay, and anon he pulled out the sword with all his might, but it would be not. Now shall ye essay, said Sir Ector to Arthur. I will well, said Arthur, and pull it out easily. And therewithal Sir Ector knelt down to the earth, and Sir Kay, alas, said Arthur, my own dear father and brother, why kneel ye to me? Nay, nay, my lord Arthur, it is not so. I was never your father, nor of your blood, but I wot well ye are of an higher blood than I weened ye were. And then Sir Ector told him all, how he was betaken him for to nourish him, and by whose commandment, and by Merlin's deliverance. Then Arthur made great dole, when he understood that Sir Ector was not his father. Sir, said Ector unto Arthur, will ye be my good and gracious lord when ye are king? Else were I to blame, said Arthur, for ye are the man in the world that I am most beholden to, and my good lady mother, your wife, that well as your own hath fostered me and kept. And if ever it be God's will that I be king, as ye say, ye shall desire of me that I may do, and I shall not fail you. God forbid I should fail you, sir, said Sir Ector. I will ask no more of you, but that ye will make my son, your foster brother Sir Kay, sensible of your lands, that it shall be done, said Arthur. And more by faith of my body, that never man shall have the office but he, while he and I live. Therewithal they whom on the 12th day all the barons came thither, and to say take the sword, who that would essay, but therefore them all, there might none take it out but Arthur. Wherefore there were many lords wroth, and said it was great shame unto them all and the realm, to be overgoverned with a boy of no high blood born. And so they fell out at the time that it was put off till Candlemas, and then all the barons should meet there again. But always the 10 knights were ordained to watch the sword day and night, and so they set a pavilion over the stone and the sword, and 5 always watched. So at Candlemas many more great lords came thither for to have won the sword, but there might none prevail. And right as Arthur did at Christmas, he did at Candlemas, and pulled out the sword easily, whereof the barons were sore grieved, and put it out in delay till the high feast of Easter. And as Arthur sped before, so did he at Easter. And yet there were some of the great lords had indignation that Arthur should be king, and put it off in a delay till the feast of Pentecost. Then the Archbishop of Canterbury by Merlin's province let purvey them of the best knights that they might get, and such knights as Uther Pendragon, well the best and most trusted in his days.